So Joey Robinette just pardoned his son Hunter. Some may say this comes as a surprise since he's on record saying he would not do this, but we've seen situations like this unfurl in the past with different people, different crimes, and let's just say it's not all that uncommon to see presidents issue pardons or clemency to their friends and family. First things first, I'm not a big fan of pardoning or granting clemency to people who would otherwise have to serve their sentence if they weren't connected to a president. I'm not against pardons across the board. They absolutely can and have been used for good. The American justice system is atrocious, and a lot of people are punished for stupid reasons. Sometimes a pardon would be the ethical thing to do. For example, Biden pardoned thousands of people for simple marijuana possession, which is good. Until we can address the underlying systemic flaws with the punitive justice system in the US, pardons will yield some social utility. But for the most part, if some dude in Arkansas is going to jail for doing exactly what you did, but you get off the hook because you know the president, that's kind of shitty. My issues with the punitive justice system aside, let's look at this Hunter Biden debacle and also rank past presidents from who granted the most to least clemency. So if you've been on the world-famous alt-right network known as X over the past 24 hours, you've probably seen a lot of conservatives clutching their pearls over Hunter Biden being pardoned by his dad. Hunter was about to be sentenced for criminal cases related to illegal firearms and tax evasion, but his dad, Joe, took a break from reading The 100 Years' War on Palestine by Rashid Khalidi, because we all know he's been such a great advocate for the Palestinian plight, to pardon his son. Hunter was found guilty and convicted by a jury in June for buying and possessing an illegal firearm while being a drug user. A few months later, in September, he pleaded guilty to evading taxes and was looking at about 17 years in prison for the tax evasion and possibly up to 25 years for the gun charges. Now, I'm a leftist. I don't like when powerful people evade taxes. I don't like when Jeff Bezos deploys sneaky tactics and utilizes tax loopholes. And I definitely don't like to hear that Warren Buffett pays less in taxes than his secretary. So why the fuck would I defend Hunter Biden? I don't give a shit about the Bidens. The real point of this video is to push back on the feigned outrage by some right-wingers on Twitter. Because I'm petty. Again, pardons are not always bad or always good. I'd argue if you're pardoning a family member or a friend who committed tax evasion or some other slimy crime that would get your average person locked up, then that's fucked up. But if you're pardoning people for smoking weed, that's a solid usage of clemency in my books. Trump was known to issue a pardon or two back in his day. He pardoned his in-law, Charles Kushner, father of notorious slimeball Jared Kushner, and just recently announced that he wants to rehire Charles to be the ambassador to France. Charles Kushner pleaded guilty to tax evasion and making illegal campaign donations, and in 2020, Trump pardoned him. This is insanely similar to the Hunter situation. And no, this is not whataboutism because I've condemned the Hunter pardon. But the pearl clutching from some right-wingers over Joe and Hunter is hilarious. Not to mention, Trump pardoned the Blackwater war criminals who killed 17 people in the Nisour Square massacre in Iraq, including children. He granted clemency to his political allies and supporters, people like Dinesh D'Souza, Clint Lawrence, Bernard Kerik. He granted clemency to his campaign staff members and political advisors, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Steve Bannon. So if you're a conservative who's been gloating about Biden's hypocrisy and you stumble across this video, I don't think you have much moral high ground to stand on. So for the rest of this video, I thought it would be fun to rank modern American presidents based on how many times they've granted clemency. Clemency is typically divided into pardons and commutations. For this video, we will go over how many pardons, commutations, and total clemency was granted by each president since Nixon. I hope this can show that clemency is a nuanced topic, and for the most part, almost all American presidents suck because they operate within the confines of a corrupt system that tilts the scales toward the rich and powerful. All the data is from the Department of Justice and aggregated into this nice, convenient chart by Pew Research Center. So let's do that real quick. Coming in at number 10, we got Bush Sr. with 74 pardons, 3 commutations, and 77 total times he's granted clemency. Now, if you go about this thinking that clemency is inherently bad all the time, then Bush Sr. is the second coming. But we know that's not true. Number 9, we got the man himself, Joseph Robinette Biden, with 26 pardons, including his son, 132 commutations, and a total of 158 total times he's granted clemency. So far, he's still got a month to pump out those pardons if he wants to. Number 8, we got Bush Jr. with 189 pardons, 11 commutations, and a total of 200 times he's granted clemency. Number 7, we got Big Donnie, 143 pardons, 94 commutations, and a total of 273 times he's granted clemency in his first term. He's still got another 4 years to catch up. Number 6, we got the man who ruined everything, Ronald Reagan, with 393 pardons, 13 commutations, and a total of 406 times he's granted clemency. Coming in at number 5, we got Mr. Ford with 382 pardons, including Richard Nixon, 22 commutations, 5 other instances, and 409 total times he's granted clemency. Billy Clinton comes in at number 4 with 396 pardons, 61 commutations, and 2 other instances, so a total of 459 times. Jimmy Carter, 534 pardons, 24 commutations, 3 other instances, and 566 total. Number 2, we got Richard Nixon, 863 pardons, 60 commutations, 3 other instances, and a total of 926 times he's granted clemency. And coming in at number 1, we got the big dog himself, Barack Obama, with 212 pardons, 1,715 commutations, and 1,927 total times he's granted clemency. In conclusion, clemency can be used for good or for bad, so we shouldn't be ascribing an innate moral value to it. The Hunter Biden situation is sus, and so are the Charles Kushner, Blackwater, Paul Manafort, and multitude of other Trump clemencies. Anyway, that's enough out of me. For more polished content, check out the main channel if you want. Thanks.